Hi, folks. My name is Alejandro Te. I'm the Associate Artistic Director of Mixed Blood, welcoming you from wherever you're joining here to Cedar-Riverside and to Ifrah Mansour's Healing Hut. We're going to get started in just a few minutes, but in the meantime, feel free to get settled and enjoy some drumming while we... Ifrah, thank you so much for all of this. Do you think, in a moment, I want to make sure that folks know about our sort of special thanks and community partners and stuff like that. But before we do that, could you just give us a little bit of an understanding of what is going on here? What are all of the things that are happening here? What is this lovely creation behind us? Would you tell us a little bit more about all of that?
Absolutely. This is the Healing Hut. She is a hut that I've been working on for 2 years. I've got a wonderful people that are in the space who bled with me to make it. Shout out to Philson over here, Susie, hanging out with the kids. This is, I would say a labor of love went into this. I learned how to make Somali huts by volunteering with the Somali museums. They have wonderful traditional huts. I always tell people to go check out those huts and lower your standards because my huts are very different. And for me, as an artist, as a human, I'm also really curious about how we heal and how the ways we heal is interconnected. And yeah, that's why we're here today, and there's so many beautiful things happening.
And you mentioned a moment ago that Suze out there with the kids and with some painting. Would you be willing to share with us what that activity is? What's happening out there?
Absolutely. I was like, for me, I made this hut, me and my wonderful friends. I get to take this hut home, and I wanted everyone who is here today to take their own healing hut home. So we've had people respond to this lovely question. Maybe this is where you get to hold the mic.
Yeah,
And we do a little bit of a show and tell. This is the question that folks responded to. What does your healing hut look like? And these are the wonderful creations. So, just celebrate over it.
Do you think we could pass them around maybe and let folks hold them?
I love that. I love that idea. Absolutely. I will keep mine.
Take
and
and pass.
And enjoy this. And guess what? There is so much art supplies. Every one of you can go make your own healing hut. And please take a picture, share it with us. Yeah.
So before we get too much further into the program, we have some folks to thank. There's a lot of folks who helped put all of this together. Huge shout out to the Brian Coyle Center that we're in right now. Yes, oh my gosh. Brian Coyle does so much for this community. They're incredible. And Amano especially was so good to us and so nice to us. And IBSA, who let us in today, all of these folks. Thanks to Cisco, to Behe, to all of the folks at the West Bank Business Association, the Cedar Cultural Center, Jamie Schumacher, Michelle Kwan, Janine Gilmer, Abdu. Oh, thank you, Abdu. We're also here with a couple of other folks who are bringing some activities to the space with us just over yonder, so y'all can't see it here, but maybe we'll go on a tour later to check out. Over there, the Million Artist Movement is putting together a quilt that folks are creating collaboratively, which is super exciting. And Our Streets Minneapolis is just out there collecting folks' stories about the neighborhood and about the freeways that intersect right here in Cedar-Riverside. And thank you also to the Pinwheel Arts Center for helping house the hut.
Yeah.
For folks who maybe are tuning in or who are coming from outside the neighborhood, would you help us, Ifrah, to understand what is Cedar-Riverside?
Like the best neighborhood in the whole wide world.
You and I know it. You and I know it. What is Cedar-Riverside to you?
Oh my God, this is a historic place. It has always been welcoming to immigrants. And there are just so many wonderful, beautiful things that don't exist elsewhere. There is like a masjid that shares a wall with like a bar that does the most amazing punk rock concerts all the time, you know? So I'm like, you can go get your aqal on the other door, and this one you can get a great concert. I'm like, and then this wonderful park that just houses so many beautiful things. It's just, this is such a nurturing neighborhood. And then hello, great food, great food.
Oh,
Great
yeah,
food.
we have some great food coming.
Yeah.
But before I get carried away, I want to fully give it over to you and to this conversation that we're going to have. I assume you will introduce our lovely interviewee here in a moment. But will you tell us who came with us to drum today? And how
We've got Rachel. We've got Abby, and then we've got the best bonus ever. Say your name for me. Lucia.
Lucia.
What a wonderful
Thank you.
Thank you so much. These are my wonderful classmates, and we're all learning how to drum. And thank you so much for showing up to drum for us today. I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Ifrah, we're so excited that you brought your hut. We're so excited that you brought all of these people and activities together. And I'm just going to turn it over to you so we can listen to this conversation.
Absolutely. I love it. Maybe we could like start by doing one thing all together. I know I'm using my hand. If you could just do a little jazz shakes with your hands. Little jazz shakes. And then add it with your shoulders. There you go. Take a nice, delicious breath in. Inside. Wonderful. And help me welcome the most amazing, beautiful human being, Farhia Batul. Because we want to advertise, you should go make your own healing hut. We're going to talk about our own healing hut right now.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. So, what's in your healing hut today?
So, I want to just say hi to everybody. My name is Farhia Budul, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. And what that means to me is I can show up for myself, my family, and my community as my authentic self. And recovery from substance use disorders has really truly given me back my values and my traditions and culture and brought me back to my spirituality and healing. So, my hut is this. Lots of words, right? It's really about Nia recovery is intentional recovery because we want to intend. And then it's also a small nonprofit organization that I started here to help our immigrant refugees and people that look like me, women, Somali, East African women, Muslim women, find recovery and from a drug addiction and alcoholism because there's a lot of stigma. So I have hope. Acceptance. The opposite of addiction is connection, self-discovery, nurturing, transformation, love, empathy, compassion, rejuvenation. And then my recovery journey has also brought me back to Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, God. So that's what I have.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely. It's so colorful. It's beautiful. Yeah. And
Tell us about yours.
mine is just filled with flowers. And I've got few words: art, grandmas, growth, walks, meditation, shah, some tea, being okay with being uncomfortable.
Ooh, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
And then I just said aqal times, which you will get, which is just time dedicated to talking about things that are just painful.
Right. Venting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just letting it out. Because it's going to come out in some ways, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I am curious. I'd love to just explore what healing means to you now. Because in some ways I feel like my inspiration for the healing hut was to force myself to how are you every day thinking about how you're healing, and how does that connect to your family? How does that connect to your community? I used to be afraid to go to the doctor, maybe just like everyone else in my family.
Yeah.
So just small little things, and I'm like, oh, why don't I make a whole project that forces me to deal one thing that I don't want to deal with? For you, I feel like I'm curious, what does healing mean to you right now? Given that you are literally on a beautiful journey of self-healing. Yeah?
Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Praise God. You know, healing looks so different for me today. And I look at healing by reflecting and looking at where I have been and where I am today, and like the progress that I have made, so I can actually measure the outcome. So when you talk about like what it means for me in community, is really like showing up. It's like showing up for you today, inviting me here today. Like I would have never thought about doing this, like sharing my own recovery journey, let alone like even showing up. I was so much isolated and so much afraid. You know, it was despair, like being in a hopeless place. So like healing is everything that is opposite of that for me today. So I heal very differently. I heal out in community. I heal private by myself, with God, meditating and reconnecting with my inner self. It's really purifying the inside and really like reflecting out on that. So our healing journey, you know, y'all, I was born in a hut in Somalia. Like talk about that, you know? Like in a small town called Koryole. Awesome.
Who else has a hut connection?
Yes, who?
Get it in the audio. Oh, look at this. I love that. Earlier we had a lady that said she got married.
Married in a hut. Like she's like love. What did you love?
So these live permanently here at Brian Coyle. So before you all leave today, your encouragement is to sit and breathe and just find some peace for yourself on these benches. If folks want to enter the hut, can they?
Absolutely.
It's
the healing hut. It came for you all. Yeah. Please go.
For folks who don't have a connection, who weren't born in a hut, is there anything you need to know about entering or exiting the hut?
The carpet is lovely. It's okay if you want to have your shoes on. The door is very fragile. It just wants a little loving attention. You want to crouch a little bit. And I think that's just it. And when you're in there, know that it is a space intentionally for healing. So it's a good time just to check in with yourself, have an internal conversation of where your healing is at. Yeah.
Ifrah, thank you. So before you all go, sit on a bench, go into a hut, make a quilt square, add a memory to our memory wall of Cedar-Riverside, make your own healing hut. And let's give a round of applause to Ifrah. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Now, before we say goodbye to our stream, we would love to give you all a chance to experience some of the things out here. Ryan's giving me a look. Like maybe we can't.
It's fragile, but
It's fragile. Will we try? We're gonna try to go around and take a look. So this will be the real test, is if the stream can handle going over to check out some of the quilts from the Million Artists Movement. That's gonna be the trickiest one. So we're gonna try that one first, and we hope we don't lose you. We hope we can follow all the way around. So come on over. Hey Joe, how are you? So we're over here with the Million Artists Movement. Hey y'all, do you want to say hello to YouTube Live over here? Would y'all be willing to share with us some of what y'all are making, what y'all are doing?
Yeah, so if you come look at our table here, we have all the materials we use for our quilt squares. And then here and there you can see some examples of finished project quilt squares we have done in the past. So we have these events and we will welcome absolutely anyone. You don't have to have any skill level, any background. You can come, you can craft. We have base fabrics that are like the bigger squares and you can draw on them, or we have pieces you can cut out. The bigger squares and you can draw on them, or we have pieces you can cut out. And yeah, just celebrating liberation and the community and uplifting, yeah, all the communities. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you so much. We're gonna just take a peek at one of the full quilts that come together. So this is what those squares look like when they're all together. And if you're tuning in here on YouTube and you want to make your own square, plan to come to 12 by 12, the festival, on the 19th and 20th, because Million Artists Movement will be there making some squares. Well, let's keep going here. I wish I could send you digitally some Ethiopian food from the Red Sea. It is delicious. We got some injera, some lentils, some sambusa, some Somali tea. And then let's make our way outside, actually, and let's check out some more of those healing huts. Hey, y'all. We're taking YouTube outside to check out these art stations. So this is where folks have been sitting to make their healing huts. And you can make your own too. Come on over, come on over. So these are the healing huts that people are taking home with them. And we're also gonna come on over, we're gonna chat with Our Streets for a second. So, like I said, Our Streets Minneapolis is an organization that they promote like different and better use of public space, of streets, of sidewalks. They're for humans, not for cars, although sometimes it can feel like that. So we're gonna chat here, hi y'all, with YouTube Live with folks who are tuning in to 12 by 12, and we're wondering if y'all could tell us a little bit more about what y'all are doing here in Cedar-Riverside and along I-94. If you would be willing to. Oh, we're passing around. Is it Alex? Is it Carly? Is it Yasmin? Who's going to chat with us?
Sure.
Yasmin, tell us a little bit.
We're just out here talking to community members about the reconstruction of I-94, hoping to get and elicit community feedback. The Minnesota Department of Transportation is going to reconstruct the highway, and it's going to impact community members ranging from St. Paul all the way into Minneapolis, which includes the Cedar-Riverside community. There is a current survey that's out by the Minnesota Department of Transportation that you're able to take just to get feedback on which project options that you're advocating for. And Our Streets Minneapolis is specifically working on the Twin Cities Boulevard, which is advocating to transform the highway into a boulevard, allocate some of that space to dedicated bus lane, sidewalks, to be able to have remaining land to be for businesses, for people to be able to have housing, and that's one of the options that we're advocating for. And so, yeah, we're just out here in community hoping to elicit that feedback and response and communicate that back to the Minnesota Department of Transportation.
And I understand, Yasmin, I understand that the Minnesota Department of Transportation has a survey out now that folks are listening to, and so the Twin Cities Boulevard would be like the at grade option. Yes. Is that what that's called?
Correct.
Putting the highway back at grade.
Yeah. So there's two options that is considered the boulevard, the at grade A.
And with us
Yes.
here.
Thank you for having us.
So we'll leave you all with this. One of sort of my first memories and moments here in the Twin Cities was right here in Cedar-Riverside, right across the street. This is the 515 apartments. There are these this white and blue situation in front of Cedar-Riverside Plaza. I came to the Twin Cities very recently in the middle of January. It was full of snow and ice. I had just done a very, very long drive, and I was welcomed by about 7 folks who were hanging, who made sure to let me know that I was about to park in a no parking zone. I was going to get towed. They helped me to find where I should go, and then helped me move all of my stuff up and into the apartments. And I have never experienced that kind of generosity and welcome from anyone anywhere I've lived. And so that was my first impression of Cedar-Riverside, and that holds to be true. Just a ifrah of spirit, a loving and a kindness to your neighbors, and a willingness to, like Ifrah was saying, to a diversity of culture and of background coming together to form something new and beautiful. That's the idea behind Mixed Blood, which is right there. That's Mixed Blood, right there in the distance, and that's the image that we'll leave you with. Thank you so much for tuning in today to 12 by 12, and we hope to see you at our last couple of events in Woodbury on April 18th, or say April, on August 18th, and then right here at Mixed Blood for the festival on August 19th and 20th. We'll see you there.